Ryan Davies' talent as a performer was truly unique. His comedy captivated both Welsh and English audiences.
Quack twice and ask for Phyllis.
Ryan worked ceaselessly to hone his gifts as an actor, singer, musician, composer, and comic. But his tireless pursuit of excellence would ultimately end in tragedy. Thomas Ryan Davies was born in Glanaman, near Ammanford, in 1937.
Oedd ranch gyda mam gyr ochr y Mynedina. Oedd ranch? Wel, farm oedd hi, All right, small old inn oedd hi, Buwch a hwch.
Glanaman was a Welsh-speaking community with a long and rich tradition of amateur drama and choral singing.
Glanaman was a very lively area. That whole Amman Valley was. He was steeped in performing right from the beginning.
Ryan's mother, Nance, who was a matron in a children's home, came from a renowned family of actors and reciters. And Ryan's father, William Thomas Davies, was a miner and chapel organist. Returning from service in the war one day, William Thomas was treated to a display of his son's musical ability.
Fi'n cael lessons piano nawr, Daddy, medde fe. O, deri ni cael clywed ti, medde fe. Maen nhw'n mynd at y piano. A mae fe'n wario rhywbeth. A oedd y copi ar y piano. A wedodd e fel hyn I Dad, so mae hwnna ar y copi, medde fe. A fe oedd wedi wneud e lan I hunan. A oedd e'n gan fach bert iawn.
At the age of 8, Ryan left Glanaman. The family moved to Llanfallin in Powys, where Ryan's parents took over a nursing home that had once been a workhouse.
And the cells were still there in the Dolydd in Llanfallin, the home where I lived, the house where I lived. And there were holes in the wall just big enough to take a certain size of stone. And there had to be a certain quota of stone broken up by the tramps, who in those days used to wander around the country before they'd had their breakfast the following morning. And so I suppose, yes, I was brought up in the workhouse.
From the age of 11, Ryan attended Llanfallin High School.
There was something very stylish about Ryan from the very beginning. He was very self-aware, even as a child, you know. He was very aware of his ability to enthrall people and perform. And he would, you know, mimic people, and especially in school, he'd mimic the teachers. And he knew he could make people laugh, even as a kid.
It was at school that a dark-haired girl called Ryan Williams caught Ryan's eye.
They started courting, I'm sure, when Ryan was about 14, you know. Irene and Ryan were always a couple. Irene was always the one, right from the very beginning.
After leaving school, Ryan did 2 years national service before going to Bangor Normal College to study to be a teacher. As part of his course, he studied drama, taking key roles in plays by Molière and Christopher Fry.
He was a compulsive actor. Even when we went out of an evening, say Saturday night to a pub or something, as students, he would grab a chair and sit on it, and all of a sudden he would be someone having a driving lesson for the first time and making a big hash of it, you know. And hilarious, absolutely hilarious. And from the very beginning, he had an extraordinary talent. It was something special.
At college, Ryan found himself among a crew of like-minded writers and performers. Together they formed a Parti Noson Lawen, a concert party that travelled the country putting on shows in village halls. Ryan's party piece was a mime of a customer in a chip shop that would entertain audiences for years to come. Ryan not only acted in these shows, he also sang, played piano, and composed songs.
He composed excellent melodies. There was something immediate about them. You took to them straight away. They were very, very singable.
In 1959, Ryan graduated and moved to London. After a year studying at the Central School of Speech and Music, he took a job as a teacher in a primary school in Croydon.
By the way, he was an excellent teacher, as you could imagine, with his acting skills and his musical skills.
Ryan and Irene were married in 1961. In Croydon, they became part of a thriving social scene based around the London Welsh Society. Ryan soon established himself as one of the Society's star performers.
The London Welsh contingent always came to the National Eisteddfod, and they put on a whole night of their own, and I got to see him then perform, and it became obvious that this man was going to be a very important figure in Welsh light entertainment.
In 1963, Meredith Evans became head of BBC Welsh Language Light Entertainment. He knew he would need a corps of professional performers to establish his department. He had no doubt who his first signing would be.
And I said, well, the very first one I want is Ryan Davies. Here is the man. Here's the obvious person. He was the centre, something to build on and build around.
Ryan was offered a contract for 1 year only. He was faced with a dilemma. Irene had just given birth to their daughter, Bethan. Would he sacrifice his permanent position as a teacher for a short-term contract as an entertainer?
He was not sure at all. It was quite a challenge for him. He was well employed in London. He was in line for promotion to a headmastership. It was a risk for him. Anyway, he took it. And in 1965, he came.
Have you ever seen my Shani, hobbit and low? She's so neat and she's so pretty, hobbit and low.
And he was a producer and director's dream. He was thoroughly dependable. You knew before he ever appeared in rehearsal that he would give of his best. There was no playing around. He would have prepared carefully before he came. He could have done it straight away.
Noswaith da I chi, which in English means good evening to you all, and that greeting comes from us all here at the barn tonight.
And so I used him as a quizmaster, presenter. He was a real all-rounder. He could do pretty well anything that you asked him to do.
It was Ryan's gift for comedy in particular that would help Meredith Evans realise a key ambition.
The next thing I wanted was to get a duo, two comedians, the straight man and the comic.
Meredith Evans didn't have to look far for his straight man. He found him in the BBC Wales news studio.
Ronnie Williams, who had been in the drama college in Cardiff, had started his career with the BBC as an announcer. And I thought, well, why not put these two together and see what happens? That's it, and that's how it started.
The old house is still standing.
Ryan and Ronnie made their first public appearance together at the 1967 National Eisteddfod in Bala, performing Green, Green Grass of Home in the style of traditional Welsh verse singing.
A green, green grass of home.
Then I awake, I look around me, at 4 grey walls that surround me, and I realise, I was only dreaming. Because there's a guard, and there's a sad old padre, and we walking there, big once again, shouting us home. Yes, they'll all come to meet me in the shade of that old tree as they lay me
Within a year, the pair had a Welsh language comedy show of their own.
Ac yn awr, Ryan a Ronnie. Ryan a Ronnie. Oh yeah, Ryan a Ronnie.
Ow! Ow! Helo, sy'n i chi dweud?
In the show, Ronnie played straight man to Ryan's kaleidoscope of comic types.
He was a creator of characters. He had a huge range of character portrayals. The character of Mam, for example, running the household, really. The barmaid, who was chattering, bubbling over.
Come up and see me sometime. Quack twice and ask for Phyllis.
He was great in drag. And then there was the little diffident man, shy, nervous, with the bowler hat, a real innocent abroad.
Taflwch o ddim. Da iawn, ond dim ar y pingin ychwaith. Tiwch eto.
The series provided a showcase for Ryan's comic acting, but he could equally hold his own as a straight actor. In 1971, Ryan briefly became part of a very different double act. He and Richard Burton travelled to Fishguard to appear in a film adaptation of Under Milk Wood.
It must be a big thrill for you, Richard, playing opposite a big star like Ryan.
Oh, dear me.
I hope it's mutual.
He was primarily an actor and could be as convincing in a serious play as he could be hilarious in pantomime.
In the film, Ryan played the role of second voice, providing a comic foil to Richard Burton's imposing first voice.
It's 11:30.
It's been 11:30 here for 50 years.
It's always opening time at the Tailor's Arms. Buy me a pint.
Buy me one.
Ryan and Ronnie kept going from strength to strength.
Os ydw chi a chroeso'r rhaglen fel arfer...
In an age when both English and Welsh programmes shared the same channel, Ryan and Ronnie's visual humour crossed over the language divide.
Atebodd y prif weinidog.
Wy?
Y prif weinidog.
Pwy we nawr, pwy we?
Wel, hi ystod. Fod sefyllfa'r glaw yn Ffestiniog. Ffestiniog. Yr un fath pan oedd Llafur yn llywodraethu. Llafur. Wilson!
Ryan and Ronnie were by now two of the biggest names in Wales. Their show ran for 7 series in all. Meredydd Evans was certain the pair could appeal to an even wider public.
2 shot and then out as it developed over 3 lines.
Mered invited Bill Cotton, who at that time was head of light entertainment in London, for Network, as we called it, and invited him down to Cardiff, showed him a couple of tapes, and Bill Cotton said, "I'd like a series of this in English, please."
And of course they were performing in Welsh, you know, which does make it a bit difficult. But one could tell the way that the audience reacted to them, that they had a tremendous comedic potential.
Ryan and Ronnie travelled to London to record their BBC One show in front of a live audience in a Shepherd's Bush theatre. This was their opportunity to bring Welsh humour to a British audience.
What kind of programme did you have in these concerts?
Well, you better have a word of Tarquin Thomas. He is our musical advisor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tarquin Thomas. What an unusual name.
Oh, I don't know. There's lots of us Thomases in Wales.
On the 8th of June 1971, viewers across Britain tuned in to watch the first English language edition of Ryan and Ronnie.
BBC calling Ryan and Ronnie!
I was frankly worried about them. I remember sitting down with some trepidation to watch their first programme when it went out on the network. And it was very early in the evening. It was about 5:30 in a sort of children's slot, which was a bit unfair, perhaps, but, OK, it was a good place to try them out. And I remember thinking, what they haven't got now anymore, they're on network television, they don't have that tremendous goodwill that comes from the audience. They're now fighting for a new audience. That new audience may not understand Welsh humour.
Unfortunately, all that survives of the series today is some behind-the-scenes footage and a handful of sketches, including one about a new method for producing rice pudding.
Now, the milk and the rice goes down here, you understand? And it travels through here now as far as the gurgle valve. Right? Are you reasoning my thinking now?
Yes, indeed.
Then, later on, the rice and the sugar join the milk, come together, you understand, down here. 1, 2, 3.
Have you seen Ryan and Ronnie?
Yes.
On television?
Yes.
What do you think of them?
Very good.
What about you? Have you seen Ronnie and Ronnie?
He thoroughly enjoys it, I know.
Despite the show's early evening slot, it was well received by British audiences. Ryan and Ronnie soon found that the show had boosted their fame beyond Wales. Riding high on the success of their network series, they were booked to do a summer season in Blackpool, topping the bill at the Central Pier.
Because we found out that we were big names in the north of England, and we'd never been there. We were big names in Scotland, we'd never been there. And they all came to see us in the Central Pier in Blackpool, where we broke all records of all time. It was a great thrill.
While their double act enjoyed great success, Ryan continued to work as a solo performer.
Right then, I come from the audience into this area here.
During rehearsals for a one-man show, he gave BBC Wales a preview of his act.
And then she is a character that we've done before many times. She's called Phyllis, and she explains what she's been doing, because she lives in Swansea. Phyllis is from Swansea, you see, and they all talk like that down in Swansea, right? And then she goes behind, so she's married a man from Cardiff, like, and he now comes out from behind the screen, and he's going up to the City Hall, like, because he's going to complain about the drains down Port Mamma Road, only to become a real problem down there. And then since this is supposed to be a real capital, we thought perhaps you better do something about it, like.
Ryan combined this solo work with his demanding rehearsal and performance schedule for Ryan and Ronnie.
They were working on television. They were working on cabaret. They were working in pantomime. They were performing in Nosweithiad Llawen. They worked hard, you know. They worked hard. Well, now, doing that as a pair for that amount of time must have generated certain tensions and so on.
I think that this affected Ronnie far more than it did Ryan. And from what I understand, Ronnie felt that the stresses were really too great. Get a life, you know, he really wanted to be with his family and so on.
Ronnie drew me aside one day and admitted to feeling mental and physical exhaustion. And he wanted to call it a day.
Bill Cotton had offered the pair an hour-long BBC One special of their own. But it wasn't to be. Acting on his doctor's advice, Ronnie, who was suffering from nervous exhaustion, told Ryan it was over. At Caerphilly's Double Diamond Club on the 4th of May 1974, the pair took their final bow together. At the age of 37, Ryan was now on his own. The big question was, what would he do next?
I think it was a feeling of relief for him, because he was going to work out his own particular... He did not want to become just one of a pair.
Just 5 months after the split, Ryan launched a new Welsh language series of his own. As a solo artist, he now had the freedom to develop the musical side of his act.
He had a light, pleasant, lovely, light tenor voice. Could sell a song, you know, could really sell a song.
The Double Diamond Caerphilly is, all you lovely people, Caerphilly is one town that won't let you down. It's my kind of town.
When he wasn't on TV, Ryan was doing live cabaret and theatre work. His annual appearances in pantomime were legendary.
When I used to go to the pantomimes in the Grand in Swansea, they would run from sort of Christmas until April, which is, you know, at the time they were the longest running pantos in the UK, full stop. And to be jam-packed every night, you know, full to the rafters of people, you know, coaches coming from all over the place. You know, that's, I think I'd be like, wow, this is big, this, you know.
I played Mother Goose in Swansea, and I'm downstage right there, and I'm acting myself to death, right? And I got 'em. I know I got 'em. You know, they're in the palm of my hand, you know? And the kids are looking at me, and I'm saying to the... And there was one little angelic girl, and she'd been wrapped up in the story from the word go, and she was looking at me, and I say to the goose, go away, don't want you. Go on, go away, leave me. And the goose toddles off, and I happened to catch her eye just as the goose was disappearing into the wings, and the little girl looked up at me, and she said, you nasty bitch.
For Ryan, the work never stopped. From 1975 on, he starred in the Welsh language sitcom Vor a Ver, about two grandfathers from opposite ends of Wales forced to share the same house. The following year, he took on an even bigger challenge. In How Green Was My Father, Ryan was virtually the only actor on screen, playing all 13 principal roles. The film told the story of an American tourist visiting the valleys to rediscover his Welsh roots.
Yes, boy!
Excuse me, sir.
Ha-ha!
A visitor from the vast beyond, a transatlantic tourist, a bicamerad camarado from Colorado.
I wonder if you could help me. I am pursuing research into the family of Jenkins.
Jenkins? Our geography germinates generations of Jenkinses. Their genealogy is the juice of our jerry-built jungle. And all genuine Jonac Jenkinses, mark you. None of your jejune jelly-belly Jenkinses. There's Jenkins the joiner, Jenkins the jeweller, and Jenkins the Jew. Jew.
For one man to carry an entire film was a phenomenal feat. Ryan pulled it off thanks to the meticulous professionalism with which he approached every project.
He was such a conscientious and worrying person. He was highly strung in that sense and concentrated very hard on what he was doing.
Ryan's intense commitment to his work threatened to exacerbate long-standing problems with his health.
He'd never been perfectly fit all his life. He suffered with asthma. He had ulcers. He used to carry a bottle of this chalk medicine around with him wherever he went.
These health issues came to a head in 1977.
Dad had finished the pantomime and he wanted a break, so we all went out to stay with a good friend of his who he was in school with in New York State. Just for a holiday, really, to recuperate, you know, and unfortunately, towards the end of the holiday, he fell ill.
Ryan suffered a severe asthma attack, followed by a heart failure. On the 22nd of April, 1977, Ryan Davies died. He was aged just 40.
It was so unexpected and so far away, you know. Oh no, it was a shock. And everybody was shocked.
Ryan died thousands of miles from home, but he lies buried at the foot of the Black Mountain. Over 3 decades have passed since his death, but Wales has yet to produce an entertainer whose comedy unites the nation as his did.
And I think it's quite rare to have somebody with all that talent, you know, and all those different avenues that he could go down. It's a tough call to fill somebody's shoes, especially my father's.
Ryan's memorial bust is inscribed with his own words. Mae chwerthin yn swnio'r un fath yn y ddwy iaith. Laughter sounds the same in both languages.